Bobrisky has been arrested again. So I read that he was trying to flee the country. It was in Semi-Border, gave somebody his passport, and from the looks of it, they must have put an API,
some alerts,
alerts on all the borders, road, flights, etc. If he was trying to leave the country, and he was arrested. There were mock shots, and the Nigerian Immigration Service was the one that announced this arrest, so it's legit. My question is, what's next?
I know what you're going to say.
I have many questions. I know where
you're going to start, but let's go.
This whole thing is like a Netflix special. Like Kunle Afolayan couldn't have written this, man, or anybody. Like the whole
Nollywood special.
The thing has legs. There's so many people that are getting involved, and we don't seem to be getting closer. It's like we're just going around in circles. My first question is, where is the Godfather? And who is the Godfather? Two questions.
Where is the Godfather? Bobrisky, where is your Godfather? Is he going to make a call to the comptroller of immigrations this time to say, release my boy,
or
release my girl?
We don't know.
Look,
even Dino is not singing anymore. When was the last time Dino sang? Anyway, back to the topic, guys. What is going on?
What is going on with Bob? What's going on with Bob? It's a shame that two of us grown-ass men are here discussing Bob, but I don't understand. Well,
Bob is popular culture, so yeah.
So the truth is, you were expecting this. This shouldn't have come to anyone as a surprise. After the whole controversy about whether or not he did serve that time in prison or in some prison resort, in some private resort outside the prison, only God knows. But you heard him say it, so unless he was boasting. I know I saw some article online yesterday or day before yesterday that had members of the National Assembly at the prison interviewing the wardens.
I saw it.
In which case, it mattered serious enough that the legislature is getting involved in it. The lawmakers are getting involved in it. It's big news. And like we said in our previous video, it impacts so many different agencies and organizations. There's the prison service, there's the judiciary, there's the, there's EFCC, and there's the Nigerian Bar Association. I mean, there's so many
lawyers involved.
There are lawyers involved. There's so many angles to this thing. Yeah. There's so many angles to it. And Bob just made himself a scapegoat. I think I said this in the previous episode. Yoruba will say, someone that you're trying to set on fire, who is rubbing petrol on their body, or you're bathing yourself in petrol, because
you're making it easy for them.
You're making it easy. And again, back to what we said the last time. However, this thing came out, it's bad that somebody recorded this thing. Someone whom Bobrisky trusted recorded. And it's ironic that he was saying in that video that he didn't know who to trust. Do you remember? He was saying, I'm only telling you, I can't tell anybody because I don't know who to trust. I don't know who set me up. And there he is. The person is telling this thing to. The person is admitting to that, look, because of everything going on with me, I don't know who to trust. Is that person that he chose to trust that chose to betray him? Can you imagine the irony?
Well, apparently, a lot of public figures have this problem. Now, how many times have we read stories where they will say sources close to thee, and it now finds out that it was accurate. Now they may deny and come up with a public, but then maybe a year later, then they'll be like, "Oh, this thing is actually true." Yeah, they denied it because they had to deny it because it was bad for the brand or whatever reason, or for legal reasons. Sometimes you may have to deny something. But there's someone close. It could be a PA, it could be a bodyguard, it could be a chauffeur,
an ex-wife.
It could be an
An ex-wife.
ex-wife, an ex-husband. It could be a lawyer. Of course, yeah, lawyer, maybe not because of confidentiality, but you get what I mean. It could be somebody, it's always somebody very, very close. So I think it's, if we take Bob out of the equation, there are I think these public figures, I like to not differentiate between celebrities and, yeah, but public figures, I think that's one of the things that they find it difficult to trust people with information, especially when they are in moments of vulnerability. It's crazy, especially when there are moments in vulnerability, because it's easy to be very controlled when everything is going well, but when you're vulnerable, they're like, okay, who can I share this with? But
Who can I trust?
But what this means is Bob didn't learn from the previous arrest, because he must have known that they were keeping tabs on him. He must have known that they're watching him now. The whole country is watching him.
But isn't that why he tried to leave the country surreptitiously?
But knowing, yeah,
why he. So when I heard that Bob was arrested in Cotonou, my first thought was, why do you think when the narrative said he was trying to
Cotonou is obvious. Cotonou is
but my own thinking was, even why would you assume he was trying to flee the country? Why would you assume he was just going to? And people go to Cotonou for the weekend. People go to Togo for the weekend. People go to Ghana for the weekend. They go by road. A lot of people go to.
So here's a question. Here's a question, and we may not know the answer to this question. Was he told not to leave the country?
So I think if he was being arrested, that clearly he was fleeing the country. If he was being arrested, then he clearly was being, because he was trying to run somewhere. Otherwise, why would they arrest you? Look, on the commercial buses.
So they may have told him, don't leave the country. Because remember, if you remember, the National Assembly or House of Representatives invite, he didn't honor it. His lawyer went, but he didn't honor it. He was supposed to have gone. So I think that might have had a bearing on it, that Akpie, to come and have your own side of the story. You didn't honor it. Maybe he had legitimate medical reasons.
And I think,
And then the next thing we now hear is that you're at Semebona border when you've not honored our invite, and you're making a mockery of the judiciary, like you mentioned in the beginning. So that might be like, guy, you have energy to leave Nigeria, but you don't have energy to come to Abuja to come and speak to us.
So at that point, I didn't even know about the National
Assembly.
Hearing.
He didn't go.
Okay. So he's asking for it. Bob makes some bad decisions. Look, I will say, I've said this on the record. What happened to Bobrisky was not fair. Bobrisky being sent to prison under those circumstances were unfair. He was singled out.
Yes.
And he was scapegoated.
Yes.
And that's the conservative side of Nigeria working. That's people say we don't like your lifestyle. And I've said, you don't send someone to prison because you don't like their lifestyle. You're killing an ant with an atom bomb at that point. There's no need. So, but the things that Bob has then done since that time. So you look, you're a victim of a miscarriage of justice. Great. But you've now then, and somebody decided, look, that godfather, Bob might have called him his godfather. It could just be someone that just thought, look, this thing that happened to you is not fair. And for that reason, I'm going to see how I can mitigate your suffering.
An empath?
Anybody, just someone that says, I have a child your age. Look, and there are a variety of reasons. There are guys our age who are gay, whose parents are aware that their children are gay. All right? And there are guys our age who are trans or who are cross-dressers or younger than us.
Yeah.
But there are parents who are dealing with that sort of reality. I have an Egbon whose son is gay. And the first time he told me, was like, oh yeah, my son. He said, I was talking to my son and I said to him, you live in England, you're black and you're gay. And, he said, and so you need to work extra hard to succeed in life, is what he was trying to tell his son. So I said, oh, your son is gay? He said, yes. He said, my son is gay. I don't hide it. He said, at the end of the day, I'm not going to throw my son away.
That's the bottom line.
He says, and he was very blunt. He says, at the end of the day, I love my son and I'm not going to throw him away. And so however it is, however it presents, as long as he's not harming people, my son is my son, and I'm going to protect him.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking at that time. So now imagine a man like that. Is the point I'm making. Imagine a man like that now seeing Bobrisky being sent to prison and knowing that he can do something about it.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what, you could be my son.
Yeah. I get your
So I'm
point.
going to, it's a miscarriage of justice. I'm going to see how I can mitigate this thing for you. And then Bobrisky goes on. So where I'm even going is now in Bobrisky's, is it carelessness or is it just unfortunate? Oh,
Desperation.
unfortunate.
Everything. Yeah.
Whatever it is, it's just being unfortunate because it had to be the one friend that would betray him. Who knows how many friends he told? The one that sent him 1 million, the one that sent him 4
That guy's
million,
gonna have
people that
trust.
sent him money.
He's gonna have trust issues for a very long time.
They really messed with Bobrisky because he was saying that even the guilty plea was his lawyer advising him to plead guilty and just get a fine. And he wound up being sent to prison. It's not nice now. It's not fair. If we all get sent to prison because something about our lives was obnoxious to somebody else, there'll be nobody who'll be free. Because where would you draw the line?
No, it was a harsh penalty. I think they were looking for something to pin Bobrisky down. They had for a while.
They Al Caponed him.
Which is why when they first went with the money laundering, they thought that didn't stick. Then it's like, what else can we use? Because my understanding of Nigerian law, which is limited, is that cross-dressing is not against the law. There's not a single law in the Federation of Laws of the Federation of Nigeria or the Constitution that says specifically that cross-dressing is against the law. So anybody can cross-dress, in my understanding, in Nigeria, and people have been cross-dressing for years and they've never been arrested for it.
Years?
For him, yeah.
Years?
Yeah.
In our society, in various parts of Africa, there are records that show that some communities had same-sex couples who lived together. Now, there are varying degrees of acceptance from one side to the next. But it's on record that there were societies that there were same-sex relationships. There were people that were what you call trans today, men that dressed as women and lived as women, and vice versa.
Was this before colonization and the transatlantic slave trade?
So one of the things I'm learning is that when the white man came to abolish things like killing of twins in this part of the world, that they also abolished certain practices that they thought were not in line with their Christian faith. Then. So they brought Christianity in and stamped out practices that were not in line with Christianity. So imagine how we've come full circle now, that we had same-sex.
Hold that thought. That's going to be another topic. I think we're moving away
full circle.
Yeah, so
we've come full circle. Yeah, we'll come back there. But yeah. So to go back to this thing. So there's Bob exposing this thing. And you can imagine the day the tape comes out, his godfather is thinking,
yeah.
Especially if
you and I know that the scenario you've posted, that guy must have told him specifically, you must not tell a soul, because I am putting my resources on the line. For me to have that kind of pull to tell the comptroller general to do this kind of thing for you, it's something I like to do every day. So I'm doing it for you.
Yep.
Everything is set for you. Just all you have to do is keep your mouth shut. And that didn't happen.
No.
Yeah. And because it's public knowledge, a lot of people are also going to be thinking, so if I help you now and do something for you now, that's how...
Oh, no one's going to come to his aid. And then, look, who would come to his aid now? Would you know what will ultimately happen to the officers involved? The Comptroller General of Prison, the Comptroller of that particular prison, and the 2 or 3 wardens or officers who might be in a position where they're able to tell. Do you understand what I'm saying?
There are already investigations ongoing.
Yeah.
Yes,
So who knows? People who are in a position of authority, who knows what's going to happen to them? Are people going to lose their jobs over it? No one's going to help him. Would you help him if it was you?
no. Absolutely.
Two things. The guy has proven that he can't keep his mouth shut. And it's proven that he doesn't have loyal friends. That's a bad combination. So do you think Bobrisky is going back to prison in terms of not just detention? This is detention now. But do you think he's going back to prison?
I think it depends on what the immigration come up with. The immigration might decide to stick to their story that he served his time.
Is that what they're saying?
I think I read something like that they're saying that the video you talked about, the guy was saying that he was the one that admitted him into prison, etc. And I can't remember. I didn't watch it to the in its entirety, but I think
so. The prisoners are saying he served his time.
I think they were alluding to the fact that he served his time. So
which is what you would expect them to say, right?
Yes, if they stick to that, then it might be tricky.
No, if they stick to that story, if the prison service confirm that he spent that time with them, and they can provide some evidence, however flimsy,
even if it's just pictures on certain dates in prison uniform, it doesn't have to be like full 24-hour recordings. Then it will now be okay. Then it could be a lesser charge of you were trying to flee the country when you were supposed to have gone to talk about your role in this whole thing.
Yeah, so that would be contempt
to your question. Yes, possibly maybe a fine and maybe another couple of months in prison. Maybe we'll see.
Depends. If they find out that he really did not go to prison, Bobrisky is serving 1 year minimum.
Double.
Do you know why?
Why?
Yes. He will be forced to spend the time he was originally meant to spend. Then another time for whatever it is, obstructing justice, whatever the charges will be for not staying in that prison. So if it's 6 months for not staying in prison, they'll double it. And they'll make him serve those sentences consecutively, not concurrently. One after the other.
Yeah, the whole thing is it's a mess. It's a mess.
But that friend that betrayed him, unless the story but see, you shouldn't have been recording that call in the first place.
And you know what? We still don't even know the name of the guy. So there are things that the way people can just bring out gist and just protect people is mind blowing. Because you know when I ask
insane.
Who is the guy that was recording? That guy's name has never even come up. So two people's names have not come up in this whole thing. The Godfather's name hasn't come up. The name of the guy who was recording hasn't come up as well. So those two names have been protected. But we'll see. I mean, we'll watch this space. If there's anything else that we want to talk about on this topic, we will. Guys, thank you for staying with us. Please subscribe, like, and share our content. Let us know what your thoughts are on this particular topic. Do you agree with us that Bobrisky was hard done by? Or do you have a different opinion that it serves him right? What do you think about the loyalty aspect, that his friend betrayed the private conversation and leaked it? What do you think about that? What are your thoughts about maybe reforms in the agencies that we talked about? What are your thoughts about certain VIPs in Nigeria who may, if this is true, who may not have served their sentences, with us thinking, how we think in Nigeria sometimes, that person has been arrested, he's been in jail for 3 years. And you now find out that the guy has been living in a fantastic guest house and watching Netflix, just like you. The only thing is the person is not posting, the person is not on.
He can't be seen outside.
He can't be seen outside. He's still eating. Conjugal visits are still, 100%, alcohol or whatever that person wants. Maybe even the
he's just on holiday.
Just living a good life.
He's in seclusion.
So and
he might have a few visitors. He or she might have a very small number of close visitors.
The only thing they'll just say is those
Wife,
visitors
yeah,
will
the
probably be
spouse.
patted down. They can't take phones in because obviously they don't want a situation that somebody will take a picture and then it will leak.
Yeah,
For obvious reasons. But yeah, we're definitely interested in knowing how this blows up, or how we continue to monitor this one. And yeah, please send us an email at twogrownmen@gmail.com if you want to be part of the show. If you want us to, if you have a show, you have a topic, or you have something you want to talk about, you can send it to us and we'll talk about it. If you want to also be physically present in the studio, we can always find a way to send you a link wherever you are in the world. We'll link up with you, hear your story, and seek solutions as much as we can. But thanks for staying with us to the end. Lami, any final thoughts before we wrap up?
No, just thank you for watching. And if you'd like to join us, we had our friend Okwe on our previous episode.
Yes.
And it was truly an amazing experience. So we'd like you to join us. If you want to join us, please be our guest. We welcome you. Just send us an email at twogrownmen@gmail.com and tell us if you have a specific issue you want to discuss with us, or you want us to, just let us know. Okay. And we'll be glad to have you on the podcast. But thank you very much.
See you next.